wicked that it would be frowned upon. Hey, Ray.
Dog, I need them points, man. You can't take them back.
Yeah, I'm hoping that CM Racer Hub will eventually get back with me. I reached out to them. Right now, it's not even giving me an option to do it.
That's odd that you can't edit it or anything.
I'm hoping that once we get more than one race in, maybe, that somewhere on there it'll give us the option to edit that.
What if can you just edit that guy's finishing position for last week as dead last or something?
Well, I could, but then that's going to take it away from his driver points. And then so if he gets the driver points, that'll be for the driver standings. He should get those. That it's just a matter of when we add him to your roster following Daytona, it bought those points with him, and I haven't. Patrick, he's been working, and he's actually the one that's more versed in that thing than I am. I can do certain things, but I can tell you this: it's nowhere yet that we found to edit. So at the moment, we just have to play it by ear, see what it comes down to. Hopefully it won't stretch out for the whole blame season.
Hey, Steve, you got a second?
Nope. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, can you drag me down real quick? Or we can go down real quick.
Just tell me where to go. I don't have any of that.
Oh, Massey, he wants to go down.
All right. Go
you
down
can get in Red Rocket. You should be able to.
Go down to our team chat real quick.
Sorry, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So true.
Just from what I've seen, that if that's open, if you're allowed, that's what caused most of the stuff in the official races that I've watched. At least one time in that race, somebody's going to go, especially close to the end. If you got a late restart, they're going to go down there.
My concern is guys not wanting to hit that because it's the way all the angles, entry and exit and back entry. If they're going to be swerving around trying not to run over that corners and cause a wreck on the high side because they're going to be too wide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
And because they can't, they think, I can't run down there, so they bump up toward the wall. Well, then when you're coming at the wall to check your flag, it pushes you out there, and then then you got to try to turn back down. So I'm just making sure that
you gotta treat it like the grass at Charlotte, where you're kind of okay clipping it and putting the left side tires gently in it.
There, but don't get the whole car down there, truck down there.
Yeah, I would say the whole car down there, you're in trouble. Yep.
If that's the case, then don't do it.
And Rachel,
I've only seen one race. Yeah, I've only seen one race where somebody cut that corner. And I mean, he drove into it and off of it straight until he got to the corner down there. He almost didn't get back up.
Well, most of them
have stayed above it.
Then the guy didn't let him back up. Actually, when the guy seen him doing that, he went down and blocked him. Then that guy got back up on the track, and the one that cut he forced his way back up onto the track in the middle of 1 and 2, and that's what caused the wreck. So that might have been the one today. Then I don't know. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So then when I seen that, I was like, well, damn, I can eliminate that issue from having that issue because it was easy. I mean, that happened. It was easy for that to happen.
Rachel
Are you
asked about
monitoring
Q
to
laps.
qualify?
Can you go below that line on qualifying?
Yeah.
Rachel was asking.
Yes, absolutely.
And to
Okay.
avoid wrecks?
Oh, yeah. The whole thing about that, so if the caution is out, the thing about going below the line at those places is advancing your position. And, yeah, I can't see where it would be. If you go back down through there full bore, 160, 70 mile an hour, people wrecking all around you, and you gain 3 or 4 positions, I expect they're going to say something about that. But to avoid a wreck, keep them piling in, I can't see. That's a safety issue.
How about under caution? Can we go down there to save fuel?
Damn, I forgot. Yeah.
So, one question.
Yeah, okay.
If, say there's a wreck on the front stretch, and you have cars darting left and right to go underneath that line to avoid it, but there's not a caution that comes out. Because that does happen.
Well, if it's multiple vehicles, it won't be a repeat of what we had at Daytona. If it's if it's a solo spin down and the caution don't come out, it ain't gonna come out. If it's if it's 2 vehicles that make contact and they spin down, caution's gonna come out.
Okay.
So it ain't gonna be left. If it's half a dozen trucks down through the grass, and normally it would stay green, the caution will come out. We ain't gonna have that happen.
You've got the admins instructed.
Yeah,
if there's more than 2 vehicles involved.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. It's that time of the week, Wednesday night, for the V-Speed Contender Series, sponsored by Nitro, FRT, which stands for Friends Racing Together, and NEPA Towing and Recovery. This week, we're at the famed Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, we all know that Atlanta went under a little bit of a overhaul here a couple years ago, and it's basically turned into a mini Daytona. This week's kind of been up and down as far as how the official races have been running. We've seen some single wide racing, double wide racing, and some 3 wide racing 5 rows deep. But the determining factor and the thing that we've seen most of all is the hits at the end of the straightaway. So we're seeing a lot of hits, seeing a lot of wrecks going into the corners. So tonight's going to be an interesting tonight. Now last week we had a great upset. Mr. Ron Thompson sat on the pole and led every single lap but 2. The man put on a school, and the man that gave him that win was Mr. Stephen Massey. Stephen, I told him after the race, put on a class of the proper way to push at a super speedway. Both of those two were incredible together. They worked the entire race and brought it home at the end. We had Mr. Todd Cray finish 3rd. Jordan Martin finished 4th. Newcomer Blair Patterson to the league. We appreciate him coming on board and running with us. He finished 6th. Last year's point champion, Anthony Promoter, finished 7th. Patrick DeSaulnier finished 8th. Tyler Bentley 9th. And Jay Gimbel brought out the top 10. So that kind of sums up last week. So this week we're going to see what happens. These guys normally run pretty good together. So hopefully we can see some of that 2 and 3 wide that we've been seeing all week long, but without those crazy wrecks we've been seeing at the end. So we're going to sit back and watch a little bit of practice here for a few minutes. 10 minutes on the hour. I'll request that everybody stand, remove your hats for the national anthem. I'll be right back. Know what time it is. Everybody stand if you choose to do so. Remove your hat. It's time for the national anthem. Well, I apologize. I messed up once again, but it's still the same. We all love this country because it gives us the ability to live in a land where we can enjoy some great racing every night of the week if we choose to do so on iRacing, or on the weekends when we watch our favorite drivers. All right, so back down to the track. Today we have Mr. Perry Snelson that's actually leading the charge out there on the track with the fastest time so far. We got another few more minutes of practice, and then they will head on out and get some qualifying done and see who's going to sit on the pole for this race. Looks like we're going to have a full field again tonight. Now, the V-Speed Series typically fields up to 35 trucks. Now, typically, we don't have 35 trucks, except for last week. We had 35 on the nose. So that was the most trucks that the V-Speed Series has ever had at a race. So we were almost prepared to have qualifying. Run what you brung and hope you brung enough, because if you didn't bring enough, you were going home. So we may get that tonight, we may not, but as it stands right now, we have 29 trucks on the track all practicing. Let's see what kind of show they can give you guys tonight. We'll take a quick pause, and then we'll be back to cover qualifying. Alright, I'm back with you. They just have a few more laps of practice before they start qualifying. As we know, 2021 is when they announced the change to Atlanta Motor Speedway to where they were going to smooth out some of those bumps and repave it. It took out a lot of character out of the track. Atlanta was actually one of the favorite tracks for most drivers because of the tire fall off, the tire wear, how slick it got, and the fact that you really just had to run it, race it. And kind of really took a pretty decent driver to get around this thing pretty fast. So since then, it's kind of turned into a mini super speedway. Now, Atlanta's right at 1.5 miles. The front stretch's got a dog leg in it now, a little more pronounced than it was in the previous iteration of the track. And the front stretch is about a little over 2,300 feet long. Back stretch is a little over 1,800 feet long. Now the corners are pretty high banked, about 28 degrees, so that's a good little amount there. And then of course straightaways are banked to about 5 degrees, so it's kind of a self-cleaning track too. A lot of the wrecks, even though they go up high, they clean themselves down to the inside. Alright, looks like they're wrapping up practice now. We're going to go to... We're ready to go trackside and see who's going to come out and set that blistering pole time to lead this race for the first lap. As it stands right now, league owner himself, Mr. Doc Stout, putting up a pretty stout run up there. So maybe the old man has something for him tonight. Can't ever count on Doc out. And now we're up to 33 trucks here. So looks like I see another couple new drivers. So we'll get to introducing everybody here shortly. We've got about 2 more laps to go, and then we're going to get underway with qualifying. Right, red flag is out. Give everybody a few seconds to get settled out, and then off to qualifying. So who is going to be our first driver out? Looks like got Ron Thompson headed out, Michael Davis headed out, Brian Helm headed out, and of course the rest of the pack is going to fall in line here. Let's take a ride with Tyler Bentley, our champion from couple years ago. And let's see what he's going to do for us. So right now, the fast time so far is Mr. Shane Posey. Just as soon as I say that, Mr. John Crow Sr. knocks him off. And as soon as I say that, Levi Allen knocks him off. So right now, we're looking to see who's going to beat that 31:53. Mr. Ron Thompson backs it up with last week's winner with a 31:52. I wonder if we're going to have a two-peat here. Well, let's see Bailey Dutton here. See how he does. Bailey Dutton bailed out on his qualifying run. Not sure what happened with that. Let's check out last year's point champion. Well, looks like he's finished with his run as well. He's going to end up with a 6th. Mr. Will Barlow's still out. 3rd place finisher last week, Todd Cray's still out. Blair Patterson's on the track. Let's ride with Mr. Blair Patterson, see how he does this lap. And he bailed on his. Maybe they're treating this like a super speedway and just not qualifying, just making a couple laps just to get up on the board. Kind of shocks me. Not that you can't get up to the front, but passing here with the way this package is pretty difficult. So this is going to be an interesting race. Got a Eugenio Alonso making his lap here. Let's see what he does. He gets up to 13th. And Mr. Stephen Massey is finishing up his lap. Our 2nd place finisher last week. And he starts 3rd, right behind Ron. I wonder if we're going to have a retake of last week. So he's going to be starting behind Mr. Ron Thompson. Maybe he's going to push him around this track like he did Daytona. We shall see. Time for the drivers' meeting now since qualifying's done. They'll have a quick drivers' meeting and go out for a couple laps of practice to get warmed up. And then we'll be ready to start this race. I'm going to take a quick pause while they do that, and I shall return. All right, I am back. Looks like they're going to roll out for a little bit of practice now. Now, I know there's a couple rule changes for this season, and so I'm sure Doc's kind of going over that, reminding the drivers that you can't advance your position if you go underneath the white line. So we'll see how that plays out for some people. I know if you hit that line, try to cut that dog leg with just 2 tires, she gets a little jumpy there. So I've seen that cause some wrecks in the official races this week. Now let's take a ride around Atlanta with resident setup builder for Nitro, Dan Schmoon. This man knows how to get around the track. Taking it up the track a little bit and then getting down to the white line. Let it track out a little bit, flip that line, and rinse and repeat. Wide open the whole way. Not a lot of tire fall off here. And the open sets. Now the fixed setups, I guess those fixed setups are built a whole lot different. It tends to rail the right rear tire and gets it loose on a long run, but they've been able to run these trucks pretty much wide open for a bunch of laps. So let's hope they can get a good long run in and try to get a green flag pit stop in and see what ends up happening. Dan running with Rachel there. Get a little bit of drafting practice in. All right. Red flag is out, and we are about to set this field. All right, as the Chevrolet Pace truck gets ready to roll these trucks out on the track. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Nitro Racing. Great place to go for setups. Even if you just want to hang out, everybody's welcome in the Discord. Stop by and say hi. FRT Motorsports, Friend Racing Together. That is a real-life race team. We're running out of the Langley Speedway. And Nipa Towing and Recovery. Now, as the Pace truck rolls them out on the field, let's set it. So on the pole tonight, we have Mr. Ron Thompson from Carolina. We have Mr. Brian Helm on the outside pole. Mr. Stephen Massey starting in 3rd place. We have Brinson Hutt in 4th. Tim Marlowe in 5th. Miss Rachel Hunt in 6th on the outside row. On the inside row of the 4th row is Mr. Anthony Promoter, last year's points champion. And on the outside of him is Mr. Michael Davis. In the next row, we have Mr. Shane Posey. On the outside of him, we have Mr. Jason Ricketts. I'm pretty sure, I think Jason may have run with us before, but I don't think I've seen him in a while. So welcome to the race and welcome to the broadcast. That rounds out the top 10. So let's get ready to go live and watch these guys take on this track. All right. Pace truck's coming out of 4, getting ready to hop down off the track. All right. Enter the restart zone.
Green, green,
we
green.
are green. Looks like Mr. Ron Thompson got him a good little start there. And his drafting buddy right behind him, Mr. Massey from last week. Let's see if Steven can go ahead and push him on out there to a good little comfortable lead. So far from fourth back with 2x2. Takers on that outside line, but for the most part, they're probably going to get single file here shortly. Like Mr. Brian Hill still in that outside row up there. Carried a couple trucks with him. As you can see, these trucks get such a run down that back straightaway. And they have to get into that tight corner. And it's hard for them to slow down. So they're all over the track trying to just keep the truck under control. Still have Mr. Ron Thompson out front. These two are trying to set a precedence for the beginning of the year that those two are definitely going to be somebody to reckon with this season. Don't ever rule out Anthony Promoter though. He's pretty slick and had a lot of patience. It's early, so I expect him to see him at around the top 4 or 5 all day long. Tonight's race is 87 laps, so we're going to get at least one green flag stop if it gets to that. Right now, these trucks are getting about 53, 54 laps, depending on if they're leading or not. So if it goes green, I'm assuming that we may see some fuel strategy come into play. Completion of lap 5, we still have Mr. Ron Thompson out front. Stephen Massey in second. Tim Marlowe's moved up to third. We got a taker for going 3 wide now. I don't know if he got rooted out or whatever the case may be there. A little bit further back here. See some of the pack kind of jockeying for positions. Dan Shamoon just quietly hanging around in the back there. Saving his truck for the end, I'm sure. And we got the old KG veterans in the back. Got Doc Stout, Jim Johnston, and Jimmy Babb all in the back there. They just quietly riding around by themselves, just hanging out. They're just waiting for somebody to mess up so they can go up and capitalize on that. Now, so far, Mr. Perry Snelson's got the fastest lap of the race. If you remember earlier in practice, he also had the top speed. Maybe he's just laying in the back, saving a little bit, trying to get to the end. Cody Morgan in front of him. Then Mr. Bailey Dutton in front of him. It's like Bailey's carrying the Reaper flag tonight. Mr. Boyd Hogan over there and crew do a good job with their setups as well. Up in front of them, we got Mr. Ryan Lang. Now Ryan, he's a jack of all trades. He runs a short track, runs a truck here, runs a road car. He does a little bit of everything. Then we got Mr. Bear Platterson, sporting the Marconi Setup Shop colors. We got a chance to interview Blair and welcome him to the league last week. It's always good to see good competition here. Mr. Will Barlow here. He's got a pretty sharp looking truck. Kind of like that. Cedar Canyon. Carrying Cedar Canyon colors. Now Mr. Levi Allen. Now he's a relatively newcomer. U.S. Firearms colors tonight. And in front of him we have the 29 of Mr. Jason Ricketts, another relative newcomer. Now you got Georgia Bulldogs on the back of that truck now. Go Dogs and Valvoline. More up from that's Mr. Tyler Bentley carrying a Nitro flag. Got a bunch of Nitro trucks in here, that's for sure. Another Nitro truck ahead of that, Mr. Shane Posey. And of course anybody that's been around knows Miss Rachel Hunt. We got last week's third place finisher, Mr. Todd Cray, and that wacko watermelon looking ghost machine. Pretty cool looking though. Now so far the biggest mover seems to be Mr. Eugenio Alonso. Ford Team Machine of him. He's carrying a little bit of nitro color too. But it looks like Brinson Hunt trying to get that outside lane going with a little bit of help from the 5 of Jay Gimbel, Eugenio and Dan Shamoon. It's like we got us a race going on now, boys. I have to say this has been by far the best race I've seen so far all week long, and than any official race. It just goes to show the level of drivers that they have in this league and the respect they have for each other. All right, so at the end of lap 20, we still have Mr. Ron Thompson being battled by Brinson Hunt for that lead. But for the most part, it's been Ron Thompson. Stephen Massey show again. So far, Paris Nelson's still hanging on to that fastest lap. So I think he's showing a little, he ain't showing all of his speed yet. I think he's waiting for the end to show his hand. Truck's moving back and forth from all of that air moving around them. Get up to almost as fast as they are at Daytona, but on a mile and a half. So it's very easy to run up on that truck in front of you in this draft. But so far so good. Everybody's been playing nice. Everybody's been keeping their distance. Now all that may change when we get down toward the end of the race. Comes time to step on that podium, all of that goes out the window. Squirrely there. So as fast as these guys are running, and all green flags laps so far, tires may be getting a little hot. Everybody's still playing nice. Everybody's still running pretty much the positions that they started in. There's a couple changes in position here and there. But right now, Eugenio's the top mover. Started in 14th and he's up to 6th. Next week we're going to head out west to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. See who can gamble on that and see See what kind of roll of the dice these guys can make. It looks like that front pack's starting to get a little squirrely and get a little serious. Getting all over the track a little bit, so we will see what happens a little bit further into this. So we're in 30 laps in with 60 to go. And it's still the Ron Thompson, Steve Massey show on the inside and the Brinson Hunt, Jake Gimbel show on the outside. Guys are showing great control, being able to run side by side and get that close and not wreck. I suspect later on, though, we're going to see some 3 wide racing if we don't start seeing it here pretty soon. Ron seems to start drifting up in the middle of those corners here, so I don't know if he's starting to get some handling issues or not. Looks like he's hitting that corner, drifting up just a tad. I don't know if that's on purpose. If that just truck's starting to go away from him. Have a pretty large group that you could almost throw a blanket all over all of them. It's like that top line is kind of broken up a little bit. The bottom line's a little more formed. But there are 4 trucks up there, so they should be able to still keep up. Gino backed off a little bit. I don't know if maybe he's getting a little hot or whatever the case may be. Looks like it's called back up now. That lower line is still a lot better formed than that top line. Tim Marto is starting to drift up a little bit. It's like about the only truck up front that's not wavered an inch is Dan Schroeder. Steady hand of the man himself. If Eugenio keeps going up high like that, then he's going to lose that position to Dan. Now some of these drivers in here you'll see not tomorrow night, but next Thursday in Las Vegas in the Road to Pro Series. I don't know how many people may know about that, but the Road to Pro Series is a stepper series that helps you qualify to be able to run the Sunday race if you were in real life. So there's 3 tiers of, or 3 levels that you go through to get to that level. So they start in the trucks at the Road to Pro Series. They have an initial section that weeds down the top 70 drivers out of everyone that competes. And to kind of put it into perspective, there were over 1,700 drivers that signed up for Daytona. So next week, typically, everybody likes to run that first race. You'll see those numbers start to fall off until they get down to that last race to determine the top 70. After that, the top 70 will run another series. Out of the top 70, they'll weed that down to the top 20. The top 20 of the Road to Pro Series will then run the bottom 20 of the Coke Series, and then that will set the field for the next year's Coke Series. Now the Coke Series races is just like Sunday in NASCAR. That's where all your big teams run. That's where you can get real money. If I'm not mistaken, the purse is over $300,000. So for anybody that doesn't think this stuff is serious, it can get just as serious as real racing. And in some aspects, some of these drivers work harder and longer than they do on the real race cars because they can literally run this every day. Now, being involved in real racing myself, nothing compares to the sound and the roar and the smells. But if you can't do that, then this is a close second. So if you ever wanted to race, thought about racing, didn't have the money, this is not that expensive to get into and have fun trying to drive and not having to worry about putting your truck or your car together or to get on the trailer to get home. Don't have to worry about buying fuel, don't have to worry about buying tires. You can just jump on and race 24 hours a day. Alright, so we're going to be cutting up the pit stops here, I'd say, within the next 10 laps. Looks like Fritz and Hutt got a little out of shape a couple laps ago, and it's kind of put him a little bit behind now. So those original 3 up front that started the race are still taking that back over with Ron Thompson, Stephen Massey, and Tim Barlow. Looks like Anthony's coming back into the picture now. Trying to make sure he's there for when it comes pit stop time. Now something you may see, you may see somebody try to short pit. Now, there's not a whole lot of tire fall off here, but if you can short pit and have a good pit stop, if you were a bonded position or two, you may be able to pick that up in that pit stop. So we'll see what plays out here in the next few laps. We are at halfway, so I would say sometime in the next 5 to 8 laps. These trucks, Fritz and Hutt gets a little loose, and around goes, and there it is. There is the big one.
Caution is out.
There is the big one. Let's see if we can get an instant replay on that. right, so it looks like coming out of 3 here, we're gonna have Brinson get a little out of shape and tail slap Mr. Ron Thompson, and around he goes and collects Dan Shamoon, Jay Gimbel, several trucks. Looks like we have several trucks that are tore up. Ryan Lang. So this is going to definitely change the dynamic of the race. All right, so as of right now, looks like Mr. Stephen Massey's going to be the leader of the race. And Tim Marlowe's going to be second. Now, why Stephen did not come into the pits, I don't know. He's been 50 laps on his tires, so he's going to have to pit, I believe. Steven comes into the pits this time. It's going to relegate that lead. Looks like Todd Cray is probably going to inherit the lead. That was a pretty good run going on. That's longer than any official race that I know of this week that's gone green. So 48 laps is pretty impressive. Yep. Steven's going to go ahead and take that run down pit road here. So we'll give it a moment for the trucks to get all sorted out.
Green flag, green flag.
Alright, so I was so far behind it wasn't even funny.
Alright, man, caution is out. Caution
So
is
we
out.
have a spin on the start. So we are going to have to check that out since we were right here. So it looks like kind of started with Steven. And let's see if we can get a better view on this here. Well, looks like maybe Shane and Rachel got into it here. Well, let's try now. So yeah, it looks like they didn't get started, and that just kind of piled up everybody. All right, so we will rack them and try again. So back out front. Looks like Jay Gimbel was able to get around Tim Marlowe on that start. I take that back. That wasn't Jay. Jay was messed up in that wreck. So that's Michael Davis out front. I think Michael's a lap down though, so Tim Marlowe is going to be the leader here. Of course, last year's points champion Anthony Promoter is going to be on the outside. I'm assuming that Michael's going to take the wave around. That'll give Michael one of his laps back. Currently he's 2 laps down. So that'll put him in position to, with a couple other drivers, to possibly get that lap back and maybe be there for the end of the race. All right, so when we get all lined up for this start, so it looks like Tim Marlowe is going to have the point there with Andy promoted to his outside. Jason Ricketts in third with Tyler Bentner on his outside. Weir Barlow on the inside of the third row with Levi Allen on the outside. Fourth row is going to have Cody Morgan and Blair Patterson. Fifth row is going to have Jim Johnson and Perry Snelson. So we're going to be taking the green with 35 to go. Tell you what, that 25 truck is sharp. I like that. That's a pretty cool looking truck. I like to see all the cool paint jobs. Right, pace truck is off. Entering in the restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Mr. Tim Marlowe gets a good start. Like Anthony may have got caught sleeping a little bit. Looks like Tyler Bentley's going to try to push him back up toward the front there. Anthony was our last year points champion, and Tyler was the champion the year before that. And just like that, they go to the lead. And so for the first time in the race, other than the caution lap, we have a new leader, Mr. Anthony Promoter. Told you he was going to be here at the end. Anthony's a smart driver.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution
is out once again. Let's see if we can figure out what happened with this one. I'm not sure what brought that one out. Well, just like that, 3 cautions in a row after going green flag for 48 laps. It's kind of the nature of this track. Cautions tend to breed cautions. We'll go another couple caution laps here. And then let's hope we can go green the rest of the way. I apologize if you hear some grumbling on the broadcast, but my grand dog seems to want to play. So if you hear some grumbling, it's just her wanting to play. So this is going to be an interesting restart, because now Tyler's going to be on the outside of Anthony. We'll have these 2 champions battling it out coming into the green. Let's take a quick rundown. So we have Anthony Promoter in the lead, Mr. Tyler Bentley second, Tim Marlowe in third, Jason Ricketts in fourth, Will Barlow in fifth, Levi Allen in sixth, Cody Morgan in seventh place, Blair Patterson's up to eighth. Now Blair's probably about the biggest move. Blair and Cody about the biggest movers right now. Cody started 31st and is up to 7th. Blair started 25th, up to 8th. Jim Johnston, he started 26th and he's up to 9th. Perry Snelson started 30th. He's up to 10th. So the man that was leading that outside line there for most of the first part of the race, Mr. Britson Hudson, 11th. The old cagey man himself, Jimmy Babb, America's crew chief. He's from 28 up to 12, so he's got a good run going on. We got new cover Dustin Wildhausen, and I apologize if I murdered your name. He's from 32nd up to 13th. Mr. Joe Zader. Now Joe, he's with Nipo Towing. He's the owner of Nipo Towing, so he's one of our sponsors. Good guy. He's up from 29th to 14th. Bailey Dutton at 15th. Ricky Williams at 16th. Justin Gaughan at 17th. Todd Gray at 18th. Bernard Persons at 19th. And Ryan Lang at 20th. So we got the pace truck coming out of 4 now. Getting ready to peel off the track. So we'll get Anthony to lead him to the green. All right, so we're entering the restart zone.
Green, green, green.
And we got a green flag. Good start from Mr. Anthony. We got Tim Marlowe right behind him, got a good start. Tyler didn't get a bad start. That outside's rolling. So both lines are formed and business is picking up. Somebody scraped the wall there. So those first 48 laps were just those guys running around. Now they're going to start getting a little racy, getting in position to be where they need to be at the end of the race here. see if we can figure out. Mr. Zader getting to that wall a little bit coming out of 2. Alright, so we're starting to see some of that 3 wide racing now. I got a feeling that we're going to start seeing a little more of that here shortly. We got Mr. Ron Thompson trying to make his way back up through
All right,
the
man,
pack.
caution is out. Caution is
There
out.
it goes. So it looks like we got the... Mr. Gary Jazorski that was mixed up in that race there. Looks like they just ran out of room there. The 3 truck of Ricky Williams, and looks like Gary just got the bad end of the stick on that one, and Todd Cray. It's like Todd Cray and Ricky Williams just ran out of room, and around they went. Roll Tide, baby, roll Tide. And I apologize for going back to the main screen to rewind this stuff. I am going to have to work on something better to get to that quickly. Still learning as I go. Now my buddy Dustin was supposed to be here with me tonight, but they tried to work him to death today, so he was going to be late, and so I think he just decided to go ahead and go home and get some rest since he's got to work tomorrow. He's got to make that money. So we'll see you next week, Dustin, in Las Vegas. Get you some good rest. That way you can make Barbara Ford proud tomorrow. Nobody likes these caution laps. I wish I had my commercials finished up. I'm working on some commercials for all our sponsors. They'll be coming into play here shortly. Let's kind of break up some of these cautions. Got a surprise visitor going to come on board in the next couple weeks. We're going to start trying to have a grand marshal every week for a cool person to come on board and say hi and talk a little bit about themselves. Just want to make sure I get the date nailed down before I even say who it is, so just stay tuned for that. I'm sure you can take keep an eye on the V-Speed Facebook page. Probably post it in the V-Speed Discord as well as an announcement once I get that locked down and into place. Alright, so we're on 1 to green. We're going to go back to green with 22 to go. Let's hope we can get some more green flag racing in here to the end. Let these guys race it out. So now we're back to Tyler Benny starting behind Anthony. So hopefully they can work together. Will Barlow in that 25 truck. Man, that truck looks cool. All right, pace truck is off. Into the restart zone. And green flag it is. Anthony gets another good start. Tyler gets a decent start. Marlowe gets a decent start. It's like a pretty decent start for at least for the first 7 there. Now we're going to see them people start jockeying for positions. Tim Marlowe leading that outside line. And the promoter getting that good push from Tyler Bentley. Those two champions working together there. And it looks like we got another wreck.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
We just can't seem to get through this one. I apologize, but I am just having the roughest time trying to find this. All right, so it looks like the 94 truck of Brinson Hutt gets down and gets a little out of shape here, which checks everybody up. Takes the 23 up into the 22 and the 97, and that just causes chaos for everybody. So it looks like Mr. Stephen Massey's done. Jay Gimbel's done. So we are just not having very good luck here toward the end of this race. So as it stands right now, off the track, we have Eugenio Alonso, Shane Posey, Dustin Vilhausen, Todd Cray, Stephen Massey, Ricky Williams, Jimmy Babb, Bernard Persons, and Dan Shamoon. So all of those trucks are currently off the track. Now, trucks that are retired, we have Jay Gimbel and Stephen Massey, so they will not be back. Some of those other trucks I mentioned, it's very possible that they could be back. Looks like Dustin Vilhausen, looks like he's back on the track now. Looks like Jimmy Babb's back on the track now. why this keeps doing this. All right, so let's see if we can re-rack them and try this once again. Going green with 17 to go. Pace truck is off. Mr. Anthony Promoter is leading him to the green. Into the restart zone, and we have green flag. So just like before, Mr. Bentley had to start on the outside, and it looks like his Nitro teammate's going to come up there and try to pick him up. Let's see if they can continue their charge to the front. Now the 29 truck of Jason Ricketts looks like he's flying the EPI colors. So we got several setup shops in here tonight. That's awesome. I love to see that. Love to see the competition. Just like that, back to the front, we have Mr. Anthony Promoter and Mr. Tyler Bentley putting on a show. And these trucks get around this track fast. Still have Tim Marlowe on the outside up there trying to make that second line get functional. Kind of broken up a little bit. Coming up on a lap truck here. Lap trucks are Eugenio and Tyler Bentley is knocking the bumper off that truck. So it looks like Tim Barlow's getting that outside line going a little bit better. It's like the Reaper trucks are getting hooked up. Trying to make a run for it there at the end. Still, Mr. Anthony Promoter leading the pack around. Tyler Bentley in second. Looks like Tim Marlowe is all alone now. Well, looks like going to be getting a little help with Cody Morgan here in a moment. Bailey Dutton is trying to get tagged on the back of that upper line there to see if they can make something work here at the end. So we are at 10 to go. With 10 to go, we got Mr. Anthony Promoter still out front. Last year's points champion being pushed by the season previous to that points champion. Now they're coming up on some more lap traffic here, so we're going to see if that's going to play a factor in this end. Looks like Cody Morgan may be trying to get to the inside of that outside line up there. But he's been making shucking and jiving moves there. now caught this. And that's the kind of sportsmanship you see here. Both those lap drivers got off the track. You do not see driving like that much in any other. And there we go. Around goes the.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Around goes the 29. Caused another chaos. Let's. All right, let's see if we can get back and see what happens here. All right. So it looks like Tim Marlowe gets in the back of the 29 there, and it collects several trucks. So I hate to see that. But that one's going to be on Tim Marlowe, I believe. But that's kind of the product of this racing here. Meanwhile, Anthony Promoter's loving this. Looks like Rachel Hunt's going to be the lucky dog. Should get one of her laps back. That's going to put her back on the lead lap. Puts Mr. Shane Posey up into the lucky dog position if there's another yellow. So once again, Tyler Bentley's going to get that outside row. This time, I'm not so sure he's going to work with Anthony. He's going to roll off with Cody Morgan behind him. Anthony's going to roll off with Tim Marlowe behind him. So we're going to see how this plays out. All right, so getting the 1 to go signal. Lights are off on the pace truck. And we are going to take this thing green with 4 to go. As long as we can get 3 of those laps under green flag, the race will be official. So let's cross your fingers that these boys can race these last 5 laps out. And it looks like Tim Marlowe is going to get that EOL, which is going to put Bailey Dutton behind Anthony. Blair Patterson starting in that 3rd position on the bottom line. He got a little front end damage, but for the most part it's been able to get through all of those crazy wrecks so far. And it looks like 3rd row outside we're going to have Levi Allen, one of our newcomers. Pace truck's getting ready to dip off. Anthony Promoter's going to bring them down from the point. Enters the restart zone. And we have green flag. Both drivers get a great start. It's game on now. It's the end of the race, so there's not going to be a whole lot of work with anybody. like Anthony got a better run through the 1 and 2 there. So Cody Morgan's pushing Tyler Bentley, trying to get him to the front. Can Tyler do it from that outside row there? Cody Morgan doing a great job of pushing. Coming to 2 to go. We still have Mr. Anthony Promoter. Well, looks like Tyler Bentley is going to get pushed to the lead. Is he going to stay with his? Is he going to stay with his pusher? No, he does not. He comes down in front of him. All right. White coming up on the white flag. And lap traffic was going to be. So this race is now going to be official. We have Mr. Tyler Bentley out front. We do have a wreck at the start-finish line, but we're still under green. They're going to race it out. So Levi Allen's trying to push Cody Morgan on the outside. Are we going to have an upset? And coming to the line, it looks like Cody Morgan is going to get second place. Look at that. Tyler Bentley, Cody Morgan, and Anthony Promoter on the podium tonight. Other than them last few cautions, this has been an amazing race. Amazing race. These guys are awesome. I really enjoy watching their races. So give me a quick moment while I round everybody up, and we'll get some of these interviews taken care of.
Man, I wanted to win that.
Right, where's Tyler at? I didn't see Tyler.
I don't even know if
is he even in here?
even in a room.
Oh, here he is.
You're interviewing me like the next, right? Like
Man,
I was second, so I have a chance to go to the bathroom, right?
Yep, go to the bathroom, buddy.
Oh, good. Thank God.
That's you, Tyler?
no, that's Todd Kikray.
Oh, that's Todd Cray.
No.
Sorry.
You're all good.
Where is...
You got a heck of a push there, Cody. That is for sure.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
I was very impressed with that. I was pretty. There he is. Oh, damn it!
The side draft pulled me away from Steek and Tyler.
There he is, Tyler Bentley, champion from 2 seasons ago, brings it back with a win. How'd you pull that off, man?
I just work in the draft is all, and
Luck.
some help
That's
from,
how he pulled it off.
Well, luck, but I got a great push from Cody there on that last restart for a couple laps, and it pushed me out in front. So appreciate that, Cody.
Yeah, I thought that Cody might pull it off at the end there, man. He got a killer push by Levi Allen, man. I don't think I've even seen Levi race, and he's out there in a nitro truck. And I'm like, man, who's this guy? So
right.
that was pretty cool. I like to see the new people come in and do good. But yeah, killer race, man. It's probably nice to be back in the winner's circle since you won that championship 2 seasons ago, huh?
Yeah, I took really last season off of E-Speed and was just doing a few other things, and glad to be back racing with everybody here and having a good time doing it.
Awesome, good deal. Now, since our second place finisher's not back yet because he had to go.
I'm back.
Oh, he is back, Mr. Cody Morgan. I am proud of you, sir. I am very proud of
Thank you.
That was a great job of pushing Tyler, getting him where he needed to be. He tried to help you out there. I was sitting there talking about it in the broadcast. I mean, is he going to stay with his pusher? Is he going to go down? And then it looked like you got a little squirrely, so I think he decided to bail and go ahead and get in front of Anthony while he had a chance, because that probably wasn't going to last that long.
Yeah, I was just trying to push him as best as I could. I knew I had a good truck to get them.
Oh, that's what
push him there.
screwed me.
And side drafting Anthony was a lot of fun there too at the end.
Yeah, Anthony's kind of the king of that himself. So sometimes you're the windshield, or sometimes you're the bug. Anthony, I thought you were gonna pull it off, man.
I had one moment there on that last restart where I was clear of Tyler for a split second off of 2, and it would have been close.
You hesitated.
No, I was hoping that I was going to have enough to deal with it, and it was just it didn't help that the third truck in my line was damaged and Bailey was not getting any help from behind,
right.
So he wasn't able to break through that bubble.
Yeah, the top line didn't get organized that much throughout the race. They'd have about 4 trucks, but no, there really never was, except right at the very start of the race. More than probably 4 trucks in it outside the whole race. But when they could get lined up, it was fast up there. It was definitely fast up there. But
my truck was handling awesome.
I tell you what, man, all of those cautions real quick, like they're kind of shocked me because you guys went 48 laps with no caution. Then all of a sudden we had 6, like within 10, 12 laps of each other. So I don't know what happened with that, but I'm sure it was more towards getting to the end of the race there and people wanting to fight for position because it's not the easiest place in the world to pass that. So
it's impossible to pass here.
Yeah, so you gotta be out front. Well, Mr. Bentley, anybody you want to give a shout out to, buddy?
Just everybody at DFC and Rich and those guys. I'm not officially there, but definitely there in spirit and V-Speed. So just those guys and you for putting on the broadcast and Doc for running the league.
All right. Cody, how about you, buddy?
I gotta say thank you to Davis and Red Rocket Racing and Nitro, because without Nitro I wouldn't have any good setups and they build them every week. So, and also Doc. Without Doc there would be no league.
This is true. Anthony, anybody you want to give a shout out to, buddy?
Yeah, not really. I'm a little frustrated from this race.
Oh, we get it, man. It happens to the best.
I hate these races, man. These things suck.
Yeah, and then we got another one next week too, so it ought to be.
That won't be so bad because that place has not got the draft package under it, so you'll actually get broke apart there a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's hope that we have a little cleaner race that week. Good luck in Road to Pro next week as well, so we'll be able to hopefully get through that with a pretty good finish. All right, well, I guess that does it from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Our race winner, Tyler Bentley. Second place, Cody Morgan. And third place, Mr. Anthony Promoter. We shall see y'all next week in Las Vegas. Let's go roll the dice and see what happens.